Sometimes ordinary people find themselves in extraordinary situations that require quick thinking, selflessness, and courage. When these once-in-a-lifetime scenarios present themselves, average people can rise to the occasion and become heroes. Today, we'll be looking at 7 more real-life heroes caught on camera. These stories will remind you how many truly good people and animals are out there willing to help each other when needed. On December 22, 2016, an ordinary day at work became a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a fast-acting mechanic in Jambi City, Indonesia. The mechanic, Zuki Chen Azm, can be seen squatting down as he fixes a motorbike in the garage where he works. Zuki's 2 young children are playing nearby when suddenly everything changes. As an out-of-control car comes slamming into the garage area, Zuki reacts with lightning-fast reflexes. He stands, grabs his children, and then pulls them out of the path of the speeding vehicle in a matter of seconds. The car only barely misses hitting the trio as Zuki expertly rolls backwards out of the way. Security camera footage of this amazing moment was shared to Facebook, where it gathered millions of views. It was later determined the accident had been caused by the driver having an epileptic seizure. Both of Zuki's children were perfectly fine following this harrowing experience. What an incredible example of fatherly protection! On November 14, 2020, British diplomat Stephen Ellison went above and beyond the call of duty. Ellison, who serves as the Consul General in Chongqing, China, had no idea as he was walking in a nearby village that he was about to save a life. Footage captured by a witness shows the terrifying moment a 24-year-old student slips on some rocks and falls into the river. As the young woman flails about, the surrounding crowd begins to panic. She passes under a small bridge, and when she emerges on the other side, she's already face down in the water. Stephen Ellison quickly leaps into action, removing his shoes and jumping fully clothed into the water. He swiftly gets a hold of the woman and, with the help of a life belt, brings her safely back to the water's edge. The harrowing video quickly went viral. 10 days after the incident, Ellison was presented by the government with a traditional jinki, a crimson banner signifying gratitude for his heroic act. The student, who's from Wuhan and attending Chongqing University at the time, made a full recovery but was understandably shaken by the event. She was very grateful to Ellison and even invited him to dinner with her family. Luckily for her, this brave man was in the right place at just the right time. What if someone needed help mere feet away from you, but you were unable to reach them? That's exactly what happened on June 23, 2016, at a Texas jail. Guard Gary Grimm was supervising several inmates in a holding cell at the Weatherford District Courts Building when suddenly the tables turned. Security footage partially shows Grimm in the bottom right corner losing consciousness as he suffers a heart attack. He slumps over and falls down, while the inmates in the holding cell look on in alarm. Unable to reach Grimm, the inmates think quickly and force the cell door open. Some of the handcuffed men rush to Grimm's side, while others call for help. Thanks to the inmates who jumped to action, deputies arrived and called paramedics to the scene. If the jailed men had not acted to help the only person guarding them, he could have lost his life. Grimm had stopped breathing and had to be revived by emergency responders with CPR and a defibrillator. Fortunately, he returned to work just a few days after this scary incident, thanks to the help he received from the other side of the bars. Grimm said, "If they wished harm for me, all they had to do was sit there and do nothing. Instead of overtaking me and taking my gun and killing me or taking a hostage and escaping, they looked at me as a human being." While police officers are often called on to act heroically, one officer in Lodi, California went above and beyond to save a life under incredible circumstances. On August 12, 2020, Officer Erica Urrea and Sergeant Steve Maynard were on a routine patrol when they spotted something alarming. A 66-year-old man in a wheelchair stuck on railroad tracks with a train speeding toward him. Without a second thought, Officer Urrea's body cam captures the moment she parks her patrol car and sprints to the tracks.
One. I'll be out with the mail sack on the tracks, trying to get him out. Go on, can you get up? Get up.
With only seconds to spare, the officer manages to pull the man out of harm's way, just as the train slams past them and crushes the wheelchair. The man, who was not identified, suffered only a leg injury and was taken to the local hospital to be treated. Officer Urrea described her thought process during the harrowing event. "I was trying to figure out, okay, where's the train? I don't know how fast the train is going. How much time do I have? But my goal was, I need to get him off the tracks." Because Officer Urrea was driving by at just the right time, and because she selflessly put her own life in danger to free the man, she undoubtedly prevented a tragedy on the tracks that day. Human beings aren't the only ones who perform heroic deeds, especially in life-or-death situations. On April 29, 2018 in Mesa, Arizona, something incredible happened in the backyard of Lori and Jay Becerra's home. Their dog Smokey and Lori's daughter's dog Ramus were playing in the yard when all of a sudden Smokey broke through a protective fence and fell into the family swimming pool. As Smokey struggles to get out of the water, Ramus looks on, realizing his friend needs help. Ramus paces back and forth, trying to guide Smokey to the steps of the pool, but Smokey continues to struggle, having trouble keeping his head above water. The incredible footage then shows Remus jumping into the water to save his friend, pushing Smokey upwards so he can climb over the pool's edge to safety. With no humans witnessing the fall, Smokey could have easily drowned if it weren't for Remus's bravery and willingness to jump in after his friend. Both dogs were unharmed after the frightening episode, and the Braceras bought a bright orange life vest for Smokey to prevent any future scares. Remus's heroic act proves that pups are not only man's best friend, but each other's as well. It's not only dogs who go above and beyond when someone is in trouble. On October 31st, 2019, a very smart Siamese cat intervened to prevent a human tragedy. When Samuel Leon, who was just 1 year old, was playing at an office in Bogota, Colombia, his only companion in the room was Gatubella the cat. Samuel was playing happily near his crib until he began crawling across the floor toward incredible danger. A security camera captures Gatubella watching Samuel from a nearby couch as the baby begins crawling to a doorway just out of frame, a doorway that opens onto a flight of a dozen steep stairs. Gatubella senses the danger and leaps to Samuel's aid. In an incredible demonstration of intelligence, the cat rushes off the couch and pounces on Samuel, placing herself between the baby and the dangerous stairwell, then uses her front paws to force him backwards to safety. Baby Samuel had managed to get out of his crib, but with no adults in the room at the time, Gatubella was the only thing standing between him and a potentially fatal fall down the steep flight. Samuel's father, Jesse Leon, described the close bond between his son and Gatubella. The cat has been a part of our family practically since birth. We had her here when she was a month, and she has become familiar with my children. She's 2 months older than my son. Fortunately, Samuel was unharmed thanks to this heroic feline intervention. Which of these videos was your favorite? Have you ever witnessed a heroic act in the moment or captured it on video? Have you ever stepped in yourself during an extraordinary situation? Share your story with us in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.